What if the sweetest words you've ever heard were never meant for you at all? What if every compliment, every warm glance was a carefully placed hook, designed to pull you deeper into someone else's control? The most dangerous manipulation is the one that feels like love. And narcissists have mastered the art of using kindness as a weapon. This is beneath the cortex, and today, we're dissecting 5 compliments narcissists use to disarm you. You'll see how these tactics operate beneath the surface, how they distort your sense of reality, and how to reclaim your emotional clarity before it's too late. Narcissistic manipulation doesn't always look like aggression. Often, it shows up as praise, and that's what makes it so effective. These behaviors tend to emerge from deep-rooted insecurity and emotional injury. Many narcissists are shaped by early childhood environments where love was conditional, performance-based, or inconsistent. Praise became a tool, a way to gain power, affection, or attention. Over time, they learned to mirror what others wanted to hear, not as connection, but as control. What seems like a compliment is often a calculated move, designed to make you vulnerable, compliant, or emotionally indebted. You're not like other people. It sounds flattering. It suggests you're rare, different, superior. But this isn't about admiration. It's about isolation. Narcissists often use this line early in relationships to fast-track intimacy. By setting you apart from everyone else, they create an illusion of exclusivity. It makes you feel chosen, special, but there's a catch. Once you accept this role, you become easier to manipulate. Because now you're trying to maintain that exceptional status. You're less likely to challenge them, more likely to overlook red flags, and more willing to tolerate mistreatment to avoid being lumped in with the very people they taught you to look down on. This praise is a cage dressed as a crown. I've never opened up to anyone like this before. Vulnerability can be beautiful, but in the hands of a narcissist, it can be weaponized. This compliment often comes after they've shared a personal story, sometimes real, sometimes exaggerated, followed by praise about how safe or different you make them feel. You feel honored, needed, emotionally important, but it's a trap. This line isn't about them opening up. It's about you opening up. It lowers your guard, accelerates emotional bonding, and makes it harder for you to step away later. By framing the connection as unique, they create pressure. The unspoken idea that leaving them would be betrayal. This faux intimacy isn't built on trust. It's built on control, masked as connection. You're so strong, I don't know how you do it. Sounds like encouragement. But it's often a setup for emotional neglect. When a narcissist calls you strong, they're not always admiring your resilience. They're excusing their own absence. They expect you to carry more, tolerate more, endure more, without needing anything in return. Over time, this strength becomes a shield you're not allowed to put down. If you express hurt or ask for support, they may dismiss you or imply weakness. The compliment becomes a quiet burden, and you start to feel ashamed for needing anything at all. What began as praise slowly morphs into emotional abandonment, painted as respect. You always understand me. This is one of the most seductive compliments a narcissist can offer. It positions you as their emotional savior, the one person who truly gets them. You feel seen, significant, essential. 8. But it's not really about understanding. It's about compliance. When a narcissist says you understand them, what they often mean is, you agree with them, validate them, and don't challenge them. The moment you stop doing that, you'll hear a different message. You've changed. You're not who I thought you were. This compliment is a loyalty test in disguise. Once you fail it, the pedestal turns into a punishment. No one else has ever made me feel this way. This is perhaps the most powerful emotional hook of all. It places you in a role that feels irreplaceable, like you've unlocked something in them that no one else ever has. In healthy relationships, emotional impact is shared and organic. But with a narcissist, it's manufactured and strategic. This line is often delivered after an intense moment, sex, vulnerability, or a dramatic story, and it's meant to deepen your emotional entanglement. You begin to feel responsible for their happiness, for their healing, for keeping the magic alive. But what feels like intimacy is actually dependency. You're not a partner. You're a supply line. And once the emotional high fades, so does the admiration. So how do you recognize these tactics before they trap you? First, notice the speed. Narcissistic compliments often come early, intensely, and disproportionately. If someone calls you the most understanding person they've ever met after a single conversation, pause. That's not connection. That's strategy. Second, look for reciprocity. Do they compliment you, but never seem to listen when you speak? Do they call you strong, but disappear when you need strength from them? Third, examine the emotional cost. Do these compliments leave you feeling more empowered or more obligated? Do they lift you up or slowly make you responsible for someone else's emotional well-being? Narcissistic praise doesn't always feel wrong. In fact, it's designed to feel asterisk, right? That's what makes it so effective. But here's how you protect yourself and take back control. 1. Slow down the emotional pacing. If someone rushes intimacy with grand compliments, respond with grounded boundaries. You can say, "I appreciate that, but let's take our time and get to know each other slowly." This disrupts their momentum without sparking conflict. 2. Separate praise from obligation. Just because someone says you re-strong dose and tea mean you have to tolerate disrespect. Reframe it mentally. Being strong doesn't mean being silent. Write it down if you have to. Make it a mantra. 3. Test the compliment. The next time someone tells you, "No one's ever understood me like you do," gently challenge it. What makes you feel that way? If they get defensive or shift blame when you ask for clarity, that's a signal. The compliment wasn't about truth. It was about power. Narcissistic compliments are not random. They're rehearsed, reinforced, and refined through experience. But the moment you see them clearly, they lose their power. You do not owe loyalty to someone who only sees your value when it serves them. You are not selfish for questioning praise that feels too heavy. You are allowed to walk away from a pedestal you never asked to stand on. Protect your energy. Stay curious. Subscribe for more from Beneath the Cortex.